There's always a lot of discourse about whether or not there should be a skip button in Genshin Impact. And for whatever reason, it has caused a lot of unnecessary tension between fans. And honestly, who cares? Who actually cares? Like, who actually cares about a skip button being added to who actually gives a shit about a skip button being added to Genshin Impact? Like, genuinely, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't understand why having a skip button in a story game is a problem for some people. I don't understand it. There are games where that are very lore heavy, very story focused, very cutscene heavy, that have like these options that allow you to skip the cutscene. Like, you'll press the start button and it'll say skip cinematic or skip cutscene, and it'll put you right into the game. It puts you right there into the game after you skip the cutscene. Sure, I mean, you may miss some things, but there are players who genuinely don't care. There are players that genuinely don't give a fuck about whether or not they absorb the fullness of the story, because a lot of those players only play for the primo gems anyway. They look up guides on YouTube to see where all the treasure chests are in a region. Like, you, why are there people genuinely upset that a part of the fan base wants a skip cinematic button? And why are we treating them like they're the scum of the earth because they don't want to learn the lore of the video game? You're not obligated to know every facet of a video game that you play. You are not obligated to do that. And it's really weird that Genshin fans are doing this, considering other Hoyoverse games have skip buttons. They have skip cinematics. Genshin has added a skip cinematic option for wishing and what is it, domain pools, but we can't have one for the story. A story was like 6 hours long. Six hours for one Archon quest. No one has the time to sit through that. And granted, because I got tired during this last Archon quest, was it Luna 4? I got so tired sitting there watching that shit that I was like, you know what? I'm prepared to suffer the consequences. And I just turned that shit straight off. I turned it straight the fuck off. Just sitting there thinking that, once I turn this shit on, I'm gonna have to sit through all that entire story quest. So I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself to sit through this shit all over again. Luckily, however, it was saving progress in between that. So when I did log back on, I didn't have to go through I didn't have to go through the whole rigmarole of watching the cutscenes all over again. But that's not the point. The point is, there are people who don't want to do that at all. There are people who don't want to sit through hour-long cutscenes of them speaking, and then you have to move the traveler 30 paces to the left to start a whole new cutscene. Move him 30 paces to the right to start a whole new cutscene. No one wants to go through that. No, there are people. I can't say no one because people like me. Sometimes I enjoy the cutscenes. I really do. I like the lore. I like the main story and all that. But there are people who don't have time for that. There are people who don't want to sit through hours and hours of cutscenes or moving 30 paces to the left to start a new cutscene. There are people who don't want to do that. And I don't understand why that's such a problem for parts of the fan base. Oh, you're gonna miss out on other lore. Oh, that's why the players don't understand. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? The same people that are on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter saying that shit, half of them don't even read the shit. They don't even read the lore. They do no investigative study. You get on YouTube and watch videos of other people breaking down the lore for you because you don't have the mental capacity to absorb it yourself. And that is okay. That is fine. It is perfectly fine that you don't have the capacity to sit there and absorb all the knowledge as it's coming out, and you watch somebody else to break it down for you, hopefully correctly. That is perfectly fine. But there are people who don't want to do that. And the creators of this game, the parent company, who have other studios in house that make games that have skip buttons, it's no excuse. There's no excuse on why we shouldn't have a skip button. Oh, it's disrespectful to the artistic vision of the people who create. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I downloaded this game. I should be able to play it the way that I want to play it, as long as I am not doing anything illegal on this game, like using mods or whatever. I should be able to have the option to skip the cinematic. And before you come at me, I'm a 1.0 player. I've been playing since the very beginning. I've watched every single cutscene. I've watched all the special event cutscenes that people will never get to see unless they go on YouTube and watch them. I watch them. I sat firsthand and watched them. I read the books. I read the lore on the talent materials, ascension materials, weapons, all that. I read the lore. I read every bit of lore, every bit of detail. I collect as much as I can in the game so that I can do that. In the things that I don't have, which is very infinitesimal, mind you, I can go on YouTube or I can go on the Genshin wiki and look it up. It's that simple. If people want to watch the cutscenes, they can get on YouTube and look up Genshin Impact all cutscenes or Genshin Impact insert patch here cutscenes. You're mad at a certain percentage of the fan base that doesn't want to spend hours upon hours upon hours watching cutscenes where half of them is Paimon reiterating what people have already just said. And don't get me started on the fact that we have to play with trial characters now instead of our own characters. It's ridiculous. It is very ridiculous that you are trying to hold these people who play this game casually to a standard that they will never live up to, and you're getting mad at them for doing that. I think it's really ridiculous, and it's a form of gatekeeping, really. It's really a form of gatekeeping. Like, if I play a video game, I should be able to play it however I feel like playing it, especially if I am an avid player of this video game. I'm not saying everybody's voice matters, but in a live service game where the creators and developers are constantly asking for feedback from the community, I think every voice matters. I think every voice matters. Every complaint counts. And a lot of people have been asking for a skip button for a very long time. As someone who reads the lore, watches the cutscenes, I would love the option to skip certain cutscenes. And I don't mean to do that. I don't mean to stoke the fire because this happens every time somebody unnecessarily brings this game into Genshin Impact conversations. But I feel like it's justified right now. Wuthering Waves, they have a skip button for their cutscenes, and when you go to skip it, it has a short or long blurb depending on what's all happening in the cutscene. It has a it has a description of everything that's happening, like an abridged description of everything that has happened or will happen in that cutscene if you skip it. And I ain't gonna lie, This last patch, that's exactly what I did. Every side quest on that game, I skipped the cutscene because that if there are no voices, I'm skipping the cutscene. I'm skipping the cutscene. I really don't give a damn. It doesn't. It does not affect my gameplay, and me skipping a cutscene doesn't affect anyone else in this community. So the question is, why do you give a fuck if people want a skip button in this game? What if they don't care about the lore? What if they just want their primo gems so they can wish on their character and enjoy the game? Who the hell died and made you Genshin police? Literally no one. Literally no one. You're not getting free primo gems for telling people that they can't enjoy a game in a manner in which they would wish to enjoy it. You don't get any brownie points. Hoyo is not going to hire you. I just don't see the point in being upset with people who simply want to skip a cutscene that it could be an hour or two long. That's a movie. That is a literal movie. Like, what's the problem? What's the problem? And I realize these same people who want a skip button, they're also confused about the lore, but that's their decision to make. Let them be ignorant about the lore. They can always go on YouTube and look it up. Lore, fucking Genshin Impact, Archon War, explain. Uh, Genshin Impact, Nod Cry, Quest, explain. Genshin Impact, Light Realm, Abyss, explain. It's that simple. It's that simple. It is really that simple. But no, instead of instead of realizing that, we're gonna shit on the people who want to have a skip button in a game with extremely long cutscenes that drag on forever. Yep. You see how dumb that sounds? It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's dumb, and I don't understand why anyone would advocate for not having a skip button in a game where cutscenes are getting progressively longer by the patch. I don't get it. That's all I wanted to complain about. Yeah, peace.